Hi, I'm Dr. Asha Prasad. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'd like to talk about breakdowns. Having breakdowns is normal. It's a part of life. There are not many things that we can do the first go around that we succeed at. A lot of times that we need practice. We need to do some things to master some skills. And then we've got our innate God-given talents that we all have as well that contribute. But one of the things that happens whenever we're going through a breakdown, now a breakdown can be anything from a failed, business venture, maybe a failed business, maybe a project that you're working on, maybe a certain product that you were thinking about developing or in the process of developing to come out, maybe a relationship. It can be anything in any facet of our life. It doesn't really matter. But whenever we're in the heart of the breakdown, it can be very disheartening. We can be very discouraging. We can have a wide range of emotions from anger, frustration, sadness, and that's absolutely normal. We have to be able to experience that and cultivate the habit of allowing ourselves to feel those things. However, what happens to a lot of people, and what I've talked to with a lot of my clients, is that they will get stuck because they just see it as this huge failure and they think that this is just kind of a big breakdown that they can't recover from. In actuality, what's happening there is a lot of times when things, I would say actually 100% of the time, when things do not go as we planned or as we intended, there could be a variety of factors, but a lot of times I have seen in my own experience and also in people that I've worked with is that there is something even better that we didn't even know was out there that's right around the corner. Now, I know that can sound a little bit of cliche and some people get really impatient on the waiting for that. But a lot of times, if we can start to take our time, slow down, step back, maybe observe, maybe we've missed something in our project, whatever we are considering is close to a breakdown, and maybe we can kind of pivot, we can kind of retune ourselves or change some things, tweak some things here and there. But if we will take that moment is very crucial to step back and say, wait a second, I'm not having a breakdown. I'm having a breakthrough. I have an opportunity for a breakthrough. Maybe there's certain things that I am learning. Maybe there are certain things that I can do differently. Maybe I found out after all these months of working on something that I actually really don't even want to have this project or this great product or this relationship or whatever it is. And that's okay too. But what a lot of times is happening for us is that we get so caught up in the busyness and the rush and the hustle and bustle that we don't cultivate this habit of slowing down to kind of see what is in fact happening, what is serving us, because all of these breakdowns or what we consider breakdowns and failures really is serving a higher good for us. It's serving a purpose to allow us to dig deeper in, to find our true self, and to be able to express ourselves in a different way, finding that joy, finding that love, finding whatever it is that is deep within you that is just really waiting to get out and express itself, and finding that. We can do that whenever we start to slow our pace a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that you can't meet the deadlines and set goals of that kind of thing. I'm not talking about that, but I am talking about reframing ourselves. When we're having a breakdown, a lot of times what I have seen, and I have done this myself as well, is I've quickly gone to, okay, I need to shift gears. I need to start on the next thing. And that's okay. Sometimes it works out, but a lot of times, a little bit into that, I also notice that things are not going so well and that I need to stop for a moment. And it costs me even more time to kind of restart and to reevaluate what's going on. If we are able at the moment that we are faced with a breakdown to really stop and say, okay, what is happening here? What am I learning here? What is this serving? Is this serving a higher good? Am I learning more patience with it? Am I learning a new skill? Am I maybe seeing that the collaborator or the person that I'm collaborating with or the team or the company or whatever it is, or even in a relationship, are we not a good match for each other? Is it not serving a higher good? Is it bringing me joy? That's a really big question. I think is probably the first and foremost question to ask is, are you joyful? Are you having a good time with it? Now, I know not all things in life are joyful and happy, but if at the core, at your really deep core, if you're not having the joy and having the enjoyment of doing something, then it may not be for you. It may not be what is really meant for you at this time. Now, a lot of times things shift and change along the way. What may not be serving you at this time could serve you down the road. Maybe there are other things that you need to acquire and learn before you get to that point down the road. But if we just rush from one thing to the next and one thing to the next, and or we get stuck in the failure and into the breakdown, we can actually stop ourselves from growing and propelling ourselves forward in a new project, and really igniting that true creativity and inspiration and motivation to move forward. So I'd like to share with you today just to really take an evaluation of what's going on in your life. Maybe there's some projects that you are still upset about or maybe disheartened about that didn't go through. If you are looking at those as breakdowns, I want you to really take a moment, reflect upon it, see what you can learn from that, see what you can gain from that, and see if you can shift your perspective to look at it as a breakthrough and find new inspiration. Now, a lot of times there is this void that happens between a breakdown and breakthrough, and in that void is when all the feelings come up, all the uncomfortable things come up at that time, and that's where you absolutely need to be. Wherever you are is exactly where you need to be in the process. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or if you need any guidance or help with this is something that I do help in transformation and transitions with a lot of my clients. So please feel free to contact us at info@theprasadmethod.com or go to our website. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.